All right, let's talk about the All-Star Game starters. So we actually had a clip that was supposed to go up today that was slightly different, but still had to do with All-Star Game voting. It had to do with the All-Star Game in general, and it was titled really "What's going to happen when Russ and KD start alongside each other in the NBA All-Star Game." And the NBA fixed that because they decided that Russell Westbrook is not an NBA starter this year. Steph Curry is. So part of what I'm thinking is they might have done something. Little bit conspiracy-esque. However, do they want to deal with 1.5 million questions regarding KD and Russ Westbrook? That's a little bit out there. But the big news that came out Thursday night, as I'm shooting this, and I'm shooting this like 30 minutes after I read that indeed Steph Curry is starting over Russell Westbrook. So now I feel a little bit more verified, and I've done a lot of clips on this. And the reason why I get so angry about the NBA All-Star Game is because time and time again, it is used as an accolade next to Hall of Fame entry. It's used as an accolade for rankings as to why player X is better than player Y. Well, player X was a 7-time starting All-Star, and player Y was only a 3-time All-Star. Well, now I think we get a little more verification here, because the NBA All-Star Game is completely meaningless, which we knew. It's an exhibition game, it's for fun, it's for the fans, but now any of that proof of, well, because he was an All-Star, he's better. No, not anymore. Not especially with Russell Westbrook not starting over Stephen Curry. There's only 2 players in the Western Conference who should be starting the All-Star Game at the guard spot. James Harden, deservingly so, and Russell Westbrook more so than anybody else in the Western Conference. Stephen Curry is a great all-around NBA player whose numbers have fallen off this year, yet the Warriors' success is still very evident. And there's a lot of adjusting that we've already talked about. But Curry's number drop-off from being the 2-time MVP to not being considered for an MVP this year at all is telling. While Russell Westbrook is doing something that nobody has done since the likes of Oscar Robertson, and I think guys like Wilt Chamberlain in terms of the numbers that they're putting up. And we talk about how much numbers are important towards becoming an All-Star, being an NBA All-Star, and that your record has to reflect that too sometimes. So while I want to get really angry about just Russell Westbrook, it's not just a Russell Westbrook thing. There's some good to talk about, a lot of good. For example, Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James. I think that they got the Eastern Conference right. I think, in my personal opinion, Isaiah Thomas should be starting the All-Star Game over Kyrie Irving. I think he's proved more than Kyrie Irving this season. He is the leading fourth-quarter scorer in NBA history right now through halfway through the season with 9.91 points in the fourth quarter. And he just continuously proves as he's doing 20-plus points per game, which he's being the first Celtic to do it since like Bird in terms of his scoring. And the Celtics have been playing very well of recent, and they keep surging to the top of the Eastern Conference, at least getting closer a lot because of their superstar, all-star starting worthy point guard, Isaiah Thomas. But I'm not going to take anything away from Kyrie Irving. He's also had a very good year. And I'm telling you, man, the Kyrie Irving and the Steph Curry, that's because of the fan vote. That's because 50% of the vote is done by the fans. And I've said this time and time again, if you want to make it a fan vote, that's fine. Then the accolade has to go. There should never be a contract incentive that if you make an All-Star game or you start an All-Star game, you get more money. Because you're not basing that off of merit, you're basing it off of fans. And fans will, of course, vote Steph Curry over Russell Westbrook. He's a 2-time MVP, and he's inspired more people, more younger kids, obviously the younger generation, than Russ Westbrook has. I think Steph Curry has more fans than Russell Westbrook has. Russell Westbrook is the better point guard and the better guard this season. Through X amount of games, all of the numbers are in favor of Russell Westbrook, and he's doing it with 1/10 of what the Warriors have. Giannis deserving, absolutely. Guy's revolutionizing basketball. Kawhi Leonard, the most deserving guy I think on this list next to LeBron James in terms of starting the All-Star game, as well as James Harden. KD, of course, I thought maybe, just maybe, somebody like Rudy Gobert or DeMarcus Cousins over Anthony Davis, but once again, or picking at straws. Like, if someone said DeMarcus Cousins should start the All-Star game over Anthony Davis, nobody should be getting mad about that. But the fact that Russell Westbrook is not starting the All-Star game is just beyond shocking to me. Now, there's a chance he still starts if someone backs out. If James Harden maybe due to injury or can't make it, or if Steph Curry, even a minor tweak, they probably wouldn't play over the next couple days if that were to happen. I don't want it to happen, but if it were to happen, they'll substitute him in. There's my rant. There's my rant on the NBA All-Star Game. It's a joke with the fan vote, man. Zaza Pachulia probably was closer than they thought. People were saying, why did they get voted in? Well, 30% of NBA players did not fill out a ballot. Granted, the NBA players, too, are going to have a little bit of a biased perspective. If you think Steven Adams is going to put anybody aside from Victor Oladipo and Russell Westbrook on his NBA All-Star ballot, I mean, look at how the Ballon d'Or voting went for FIFA. I mean, Manuel Neuer picked only Bayern teammates or Germany national teammates. So we really need to rethink how the NBA All-Star starters are being voted on and how they start to come together because, I mean, it's a joke. Steph Curry over Russ Westbrook this season, 2016, 2017, not last year, this year. Not practice, not a game. Practice. AI as always. All right. Comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe. They botched the NBA All-Star Game starters. How am I surprised? I'm not. I've done 4 videos on this up until this point. And we'll see you next time I'm out. We'll be back Monday.